Well, hello. You're watching No More Flinching Talk TV, Tell Your Story podcast, where truth takes the mic, fear takes the back seat, and testimonies take the lead. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of No More Flinching Talk, Tell Your Story. I'm your host, Carlotta Taylor, and today is very special. If you're watching right now, you're here for a reason. Somebody you love might need to hear what's about to be said. Take a second, drop a comment, show some love, subscribe, share, get ready, because let you know that where you're tuning in from, we want to know where you're tuning in from. We want to know what state. We want to know what side of the world you're tuning in from. This is the international broadcast tonight. Keep your ears and hearts open. There is inspiration in tonight's episode. We will have the thought of the day by Maya Angelou. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. Listen, we have an incredible panel of amazing women who are here to speak their truth, to share their story, and share some things from their heart. Real life, tough things, how they overcame, to inspire you that you too can overcome any obstacle that's been placed in your life. So get ready. Have you shared? Are you liking? Are you pressing the heart? So you letting us know where you're tuning in from? We want to know. All right. We see Good Night coming in. We see Daniel Harris from Wisconsin. We see Michigan tuning in. Thank you. That's what we want to see. Make sure you show some love. Now we're getting ready to introduce each panel guest independently, and then we're going to bring them all up collectively and get this show on the road. First up to the mic, let me go ahead and bring up this lovely, amazing queen. This is Renee Toppins. She is a hi. One moment. We're gonna let me bring you up right, Queen. Let me bring you up right. She is a powerhouse in the coaching world with over 25 years of experience and an astounding global social media reach of more than 700,000 followers, including 425,000 in the US, 46,000 in Nigeria, 32,000 in South Africa. As the founder of Black Women Who Want More Academy, she has built a global brand that empowers women to rise from survival to purpose. She's been featured on CNN, numerous talk shows, and uses her biblical and strategic life coaching to transform women spiritually, emotionally, physically, and financially. With a message that has gone from Philadelphia to the Caribbean and beyond, Renee is a movement, not just a mentor. No More Flinching proudly welcomes this trailblazer who has turned communication mastery into a global call to more. Welcome, Renee Toppins. How are you doing today?
I am awesome and so excited to be here and speak to your audience. I have been following you, so right back at you. And I cannot wait to answer the questions and share wisdom with all of the panel that you have invited here today. Amazing women. And thank you so much.
Oh, wow. I just love that. Man, it's so amazing to see you. I've been following you for years too. And I'm like, one day we're going to get to talk. And today is that day. I'm super, super excited. Can't wait to bring you back up. So we're going to pop you back down and we're going to bring up our next panelist. All right. Before we pass her the mic, all right, we got to bring each person up right because each person on this panel is very special. All right. Sheila is a masterful voice in the realm of personal transformation, a seasoned author, motivational speaker, and gratitude coach whose teaching ignites the soul. With over 25 years of experience in the social and human services and a legacy of services at the College of North Atlantic, Sheila's passion lies in helping others unlock their highest potential. Her acclaimed series, Life Lessons from the Field, including The Gratitude Attitude and The Calling of My Soul, reflects her deep-rooted commitment to emotionally elevation and spiritual clarity. Holding a master's in sociology and numerous credentials in self-esteem and personally mastery, Sheila is also a certified consultant for the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Hope I said that right. No More Flinching TV proudly welcomes this wisdom-filled trailblazer whose work bridges education, gratitude, and empowerment, one breakthrough at a time. Welcome to No More Flinching TV, Sheila. How are you doing today? Okay, Sheila, hit the unmute button. We can't hear you.
Sorry. I was saying I'm fabulous, and I'm so grateful to be part of your panel. I love being amongst amazing women who have different stories to share, because collectively, we're really all the same person. That's what I believe.
Wow. Well, we're really glad to have you back, and I say back because this is not you and I's first time coming together over the air. Previously with the Heart of the Matter show, and I'm so honored and grateful to have you back with us and to share and catch up what's going on now. So we'll be bringing you back up momentarily, and we're getting ready to introduce our next panelist. Thank you so much, Sheila.
Thank you.
All right. And listen, we got to bring everybody up, right? Jessica, if you would mute your mic just for a moment so I can make sure, we want to make sure this sound goes through really well. There we go. Now, like I said, I want to introduce everybody in good fashion. All right. Now, Jessica James Henry. Okay, widely known as the queen of the breakthrough strategies, is a force of resilience and brilliance, honored as one of Mississippi's Business Journal's top 40 under 40, and celebrated as a 4-time international best-selling author with a master's in public health science and over 13 years of experience in pharmaceutical and behavioral health care. Jessica has led global research efforts in Spain and South Africa and continues to drive impact through a corporate and nonprofit workshop. A survivor of domestic violence and psychological abuse, she now uses her voice to educate and empower others on the critical importance of violence awareness. From boardrooms to global stages, Jessica transforms pain into power with unmatched depth and clarity. No More Flinching proudly welcomes the Breakthrough Queen to the mic. How are you doing?
I feel good, Carla. Thank you so much for having me. Listen, if are you flinching on tonight? Just listen to that question. Are you flinching on tonight? You shouldn't be flinching on tonight. Well, I'm here and I am excited to share because No More Flinching changed my life. So I can't wait to share more about that. Stay tuned. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. And we're getting ready to bring up our next panelist. Thank you so much, Jessica. It means a lot to have you here. There's more to the story, so we're going to unpack that later on. But thank you. I appreciate that. And we're glad you're here. And next to the stage, we have Dee, who is a warrior in truth and fueled by unshakable courage. She recently appeared on No More Flinching TV to share the chilling story of her brother's murder. A story many tried to silence, but Dee refused to flinch. With every word, she exposed shadows and shook the silence, standing as a bold advocate for justice in the face of intimidation and resistance. She's not just telling her story, she's tearing the veil off lies and demanding accountability. Today, we welcome Dee back to No More Flinching Talk. Tell your story with thunderous respect, because her voice is proof that when truth rises, no lies can stand. Talk to us, Dee. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. I can't complain. I'm glad to be back here. And thanks so much for inviting me back again to speak with this panel of lovely ladies.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have you back. And thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. And we're looking forward to going a little bit deeper and learning a little bit more about you tonight. Okay?
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Outstanding. Outstanding. And next, All right. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Listen, we have Valerie Jim Smith, who is also known as Victorious. All right. Affectionately known as Victorious Jim, is a radiant force of wisdom, faith, and feminine power. Born in Guyana, the only English speaking country in South America. That was news to me when I first read it. Shout out to Guyana. As she is a minister of gospel, motivational speaker, author, poet, and fashion designer who leads women to healing through her movement Restored by Grace. A Bible college valedictorian and fierce advocate for justice and integrity. She empowers broken hearts and battered spirits to rise again, whole, bold, unshakable. With deep roots in education and a fire for truth, Valerie's voice carries clarity, conviction, and compassion. No More Flinching is honored to welcome this generational gem who teaches us all to radiate like freshly awakened flowers and walk boldly in grace. Welcome to No More Flinching TV. Victorious, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, Carletta. I am blessed. I am doing very well. Thank you for having me on No Flinching Talk Show tonight, because indeed we will not be flinching. I feel so honored and privileged to be among these amazing, phenomenal women as we are going to speak our truth unapologetically tonight. So here I am, blessed and highly favored. Thank you for having me. And I know that our meeting was divinely orchestrated. And so let's see what our big God is going to do in our midst. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. I mean, I just love your accent. I love Guyanese accent. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so honored that you are here. We just recently met not too long ago, but it's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you.
Everything happens for a reason. All right. We'll see you in just a moment.
Bye.
And now, listen. Now we know that we have an amazing crown, the honorary queen of Guyana. Yeah, we had to put that in there. Angie is a divine force, a survivor, a mother, a wife, and unapologetically advocate for justice. With a heart rooted in faith and a voice anchored in truth, Angie speaks powerfully, prays fervently, and stands boldly beside those God has called her to uplift. She doesn't just show up, she shakes atmospheres. Her unforgettable appearance on No More Flinching Talk alongside of Amicia Simon, the mother of Adriana Young, was nothing short of soul stirring. She cleared the room with power, truth, and grace. Today, No More Flinching TV welcomes her back with open arms and full honor, because when Angie speaks, healing begins, truth rises, and chains break. How are you doing tonight, Angie?
Make sure Hi, good evening, Carlotta. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being on your show. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for asking me. Today has been a day, but guess what? We are here, pressing through, showing up. Thank you for asking. I am so grateful. You and all of the beautiful ladies are here tonight. I'm super excited to what we have in store for this evening.
Amen. Likewise. Amen. I cannot wait to share. Among or be a part with these beautiful ladies, these blessed women of God. I cannot wait to share part of my story with the entire world along with these ladies, and to let everyone know that I'm not going to flinch regardless of what the situation may be. I will never flinch. I was not born to flinch.
Now, I love that. No more flinching. Every lady that's here, we're getting ready to bring everybody back up, has that no more flinching mindset. They're doing everything in their lives in their own platforms. They have their own brands and everything, but everyone has that no more flinching mindset. And I'm really, really grateful as I get ready to bring everyone back up to the stage. Let's welcome, please, let us see your comments. Make sure you're liking the lives. If you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to No More Flinching TV on YouTube. Let me tell you why that's important as I bring these lovely queens back up. Let me tell you why that's important. All right, so Facebook, right? Facebook is like the folding chairs and the lawn chairs. You're going to be there for a little bit of time, okay? After 30 days, they're saying bye-bye to all lives. The lives are being deleted, y'all. That's folding chairs community right there. But YouTube is theater seats, okay? Those seats that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. You want to be in the theater seat. So make sure you are subscribing to No More Flinching TV. You don't have to worry about the lives and this amazing content from these amazing women on this amazing panel disappearing. All right. So we are super excited. And thank you all for saying no more flinching in the comments. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for liking it live. And thank you for sharing this broadcast. We're getting ready to jump right into it because we do have some information that we want to make sure you get tonight. And so we got to get started. Now, I'm just going to go on my screen in the order that's on my screen right now. Right. So we have Angie up first. And I would like, this is how we're going to do it. We have some amazing questions. And we're going to see if we can squeeze them in with everyone answering. But if we cannot, due to time restraints, we know how to work it. Okay. But we're going to make sure you get some good stuff tonight and get some good inspiration. How many of you know anybody who needs to be inspired in today's world and time? Good inspiration. Something's going to help you get a good picker upper, help you go into the right direction. That's why you want to share tonight's live and make sure you're subscribing, liking, and showing love. All right. All right. Thank you all so much. We see you, Delta 9 Media. We see you. Thank you for being in the room with us tonight. We really appreciate you. All right. So we're going to start with Angie right up top. Angie right up top from Guyana. Guyana Queen. I got to say it because that's what it is. All right. This is the first question of the night. And we're going to pass the mic around. But I'm going to start with Angie. Okay. What shaped the girl you used to be? Take us back, Angie. Who were you before the titles, before the triumph? What did your childhood teach you about survival? The mic is yours.
Okay, good evening. Good evening once again, ladies and audience. First of all, I must say, first and foremost, I must give thanks and praise to God because He has brought me a mighty long way. And I do not know where would I have been without Him. What shaped me to become the person I am today? As a child growing up, I had this way whereby I would eat food when my parents cook and I would always steal food. When I steal the food, a little always fall on my clothing. And my dad or my mom would come and they would say, did you steal? I would say no. I did not know what the true meaning of lie were at the time. Then my dad would pinpoint to me, what is on your chest? So I would get caught and I would get a whooping. However, one day going to school and there was a group of friends decided to come and tell a lie, saying that they're going to lie and let my parents know. Because I had those type of parents that they would always beat you for anything in front of anyone. And I'm like, they're going to tell my parents that I lied. I said something bad about somebody, grandparents, which it was not true. And my father beat me. So on that day, I learned what lie was. And from that day, I decided that my life is going to be an open book. Even though I decided on that day, my life is going to be an open book, nobody did not really believe me. You know, as you talk or you say something, my family persons would still thinking that you're a liar. So I have lived my life to a point like, you know what? You cannot change anyone's belief. What a person believes of you, or they believe, they're going to keep their belief. It doesn't matter what you say. They are going to hold on to that. So I decided now to live my life whereby I would walk around if I'm going to Sunday school, wherever I'm going, I'm telling other children, don't lie, don't lie. I'm starting to instill in other children, other persons, my friend, classmate, do not tell a lie, because this is what it's going to do. This is how I felt. And from that day onward, I have been like a brick wall in terms of, I don't care how somebody feel. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to continue to speak, and I'm not going to turn away from that.
Absolutely. Man, I love it. I love it. I love how you explain how you didn't know any better at first when you was a young little girl. You just would do things and you did not understand what the truth was. But when you knew better, you not only did better, you inspired other people to do the same. Let's pass the mic now to Miss Renee Toppins, because I cannot wait to hear her answer this question. And just so you know exactly what the question is, Miss Renee, I want to read it back over to you, and we would love to get your take on this answer. The way this live is going, we're going to get these questions answered. I'm not sure if we can get every single person to get an answer, but every person you will hear from tonight, I can say that. All right. So the question was, what shaped the girl you used to be? Take us back, Renee. Who were you before the titles and many titles that you have? Before the triumph that you, oh my gosh, reign in? What did your childhood teach you about survival?
What my childhood taught me about survival is that fitting in is not the way to survive when you were born to stand out. And the little girl that I was wanted to fit in. I wanted to suppress who I was. I was smart, but I didn't want to stand out because I wanted to fit in. I was always light-skinned, but I didn't fit in because during the 70s, there was a lot of colorism. I'm sure that's not today, but when I was little, there was colorism. So being light-skinned and being different, I tried really, really hard to fit in. I remember, ladies, smoking cigarettes for the first time and getting really, really sick in the 9th grade because I wanted to fit in. I remember trying my best to smoke a joint, throwing up, getting sick because I wanted to fit in. I remember all the things that I did being set aside, set apart, created to lead, because I've always been this person. We were born who we are. And as a leader, you don't fit in. You stand out because you're the head and not the tail. And I wanted to fit in with all the tails. I wanted to swing with the tails when I was created to be the head. And I didn't want to be the head because I wanted people to like me. I don't know if there are any grown-up little girls listening tonight who you still trying to fit in, and God created you to stand out. And you are flinching to fit in. You are bending down, cowering down to fit in like this. But I learned that leaders stand out. They don't fit in. So the little girl that I was, who tried her best to fit in, one day realized I was born to stand out because I'm the head and not the tail. And you do not lead fitting in.
Ooh, wait. Listen. If y'all didn't get chills listening to that, I know that's exactly what somebody needs to hear. See, when you get seasoned and when you have a crown of wisdom on your head, that is the kind of advice and mentorship you can give right off the rip. These women did not have any time to prepare themselves for these questions. They got it in the green room about 30 minutes ahead of time. This is coming straight from the heart. No, without any flinching. That's how they bring it tonight. That was very powerful and very impactful. Somebody said, created to be the head. Come on, Nicole Lucky. Yes. Yes. Let that resonate. Now, listen, don't be selfish with this live, y'all. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you're getting this out. Show us some love on YouTube. Hit them hearts. Hit them hearts on Facebook. That's the only, if you like the content and you love what's being said, make sure you show it. Show up in the comments. We're looking, we're reading. Make sure you're showing the live. Make sure you're subscribing. All right. Outstanding. All right. This by showing hands. Raise your hand if you want the mic next and you want to take that question. Raise your hand if you would like. All right, D. We're finna pass it on to you. We're finna come on over there to D. We're finna pass it on over there. We're over there to D. D, do you need me to read the question one more time? Or do you
No,
got
I think I got it. No, I
Let's
think I
roll.
got it.
Let's
Miss
roll.
Renee definitely put a stamp on mine when she said that I was definitely not meant to be with the tails. I was meant to be at the head, and I'm taking that. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. But that's exactly kind of what my story is kind of like. Being the black sheep of the family, being facing adversity. Colorism is very much still very real. People don't look at us women with highly melanated skin as being the same, like we can't get out here and earn the same privileges as everyone else. I fought my way through any position I've ever had. And truth be told, it was never the people that you thought were the same color as you that were going to help you advance. It's been the people that have not been that color. And a lot of my career and a lot of things that I have accomplished in my life came from me just fighting my way through tooth and nail. And being a black woman out here doing and being and working and thriving in a man's world, it definitely intimidates people. So yes, a lot of things that took me away from being that little timid girl that I used to be, that everyone used to laugh and clown with, that, I was darker than everybody else. And I love my skin complexion. So that's definitely not the case, but it just made me love myself more. And the more you start loving yourself, everything else and everyone around you becomes unfamiliar. So I'm at a point of my life where unfamiliarity is not a foreign thing for me. I'm very unfamiliar with the person I used to be, and the person I am now. That person I used to be couldn't stand in the same room with me. So 100% where I treat myself like I need myself. And that's where I've changed so many different things in my life. If you treat yourself like you need yourself, you're going to fix a lot of things, a lot of problems that you are going through. So I left that person so many years ago, and who I am today would have never been that if I didn't have that adversity that I had to grow my life through with my career and things of that nature.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing, D. I know a lot of people can relate to that. This is something you really never hear. I've heard it so many times and I can feel it. I love all shades of color. That's just me. And I know there's people out there that do. And I often hear that, dark-skinned women have been treated differently. I've seen it. But did you also know that light-skinned women, black women, get treated differently as well? And so it's just something that doesn't need to happen, but somebody can relate to both of those truths. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we shake that off and we allow God to show up in us and be the person that God has called us to be. And I cannot wait. I look forward to the day that we can just let all that crazy stuff that it really doesn't matter get in the way. But thank you so much, Dee, for that. Very impactful. Would anyone like to answer that question, or we can go to the next question, because we have 6 more beautiful questions and I hope we can get them all in, but I want to see who really wants to answer that. Anybody else before I go to the next question? Hey, listen, listen, these women said, oh, hey, they're not flinching today with this mic. Do you hear me? They're not flinching. So I think I saw Victorious' hand first. So we're going to pass the mic to Victorious, and then we're going to go to Sheila Trask with this question, and then we're going to go to the next question. Take the mic, Victorious. We're listening to you.
All right, good evening again to the panel and to the wonderful audience. I think the question was, what shaped me prior? What it was again?
Let's go with
it's okay. Who was the girl before I came the powerhouse I am today?
Yeah.
And I believe that adversity, after being broken, would have built us to the strong women you are today. Before I became a motivational speaker, a poet, an author, a teacher, a mighty woman of God, I went through some things as a child. So this was the Valerie I remembered as a child. I was a shy girl, but I was an eye flyer in school. And there I was in my shyness, and I've learned that I was being pushed to a place where I was being taught you should never fail. You should always be the eye flyer by my teachers. And so there was one day that we had a sum to do. We had like 10 questions. And my teacher always expected me to get all 10. And that particular day, I got 9 out of 10. And the woman slapped me to the face. She said, you should not have gotten 9 out of 10. And I was like, am I not just an ordinary child like everyone else in the classroom? Why can't I not make a mistake? And so I was hungry with her because of what she did. And so I tried my utmost to always again rise to the top, never again to fail a class. But one important thing that really shaped me, and I think this would have come in another question, but I'll say it now. As a child, even though I was an high flyer in school, I was deprived of some things that my friends would have had. And I remember growing up, as I said, I'm the fifth child among 11. So it was a large family. And so we grew up among family members. And I remembered one particular day as a child, child do childish things. And so my uncle, he had a bunch of bananas under the house hanging to ripen. And I look a child, I look left, I look right. I saw no eyes looking at me, but he was looking. And so I grabbed one of the bananas because I was hungry. My mom wasn't home. When I grabbed that banana as a child, my uncle shouted and said, "Drop it." It shook me to the core. He said, "Drop it." You know what I said from that day? I said, "You see, me, when I grew up to be an adult, I will never want, because it seems to be a harsh thing being a child and being so deprived by taking one fruit from a bunch of so many that my uncle could shout at me and say, 'Drop it.'" And so I crumbled inside. But you know what, Carlette and the audience? That particular story also caused me as a child. Even though I did not understood what the word "no flinching" meant, I've learned ever since then not to flinch, but to stand strong and to be bold and to fight for whatever I want, and not to be the kind of uncle he was, depriving a niece or a nephew of having.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I can relate to so many parts in that story, from the shyness. I used to be so shy, people don't even believe it. That's a whole nother story. Thank you so much for that powerful story within a few short minutes, man. I know somebody can relate to that. We just want you to think back tonight to those moments, and be proud of yourself for who you are today. Be proud of who you are today. If you're watching, don't be too hard on yourself. You're here for a reason. You're watching this live for a reason. Make sure you're in the comments. Make sure you're showing love on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribing to No More Flinching TV on YouTube. And we talked about why, so you might have to catch the replay to understand. But make sure you're plugged in and make sure you're sharing if you're loving the content. Sheila, the mic is yours. We got about 2 minutes before we go to the next question.
Okay, I'll be quick. I grew up in a family of 10 children. I was number 9. And that played a huge role in who I became in my adult life, because I was raised in the 60s under the guidance of children should be seen and not heard. So you were constantly being told to be quiet. You weren't allowed to speak. You weren't allowed to have, nobody embraced your feelings. And I always had a lot to say, and I had a lot of questions. So where I actually was able to excel, like the other panel members, was at school. At school, people listened to me. I was a leader in the school setting. And then many years later, I was in my early 40s before I started teaching as an adult educator. And I started to realize that the whole thing about, I come from a small community in Newfoundland, which is a small island in Eastern Canada. It's the most easterly point in North America. So coming from a small town can make you, just like a lot of you have said, it makes you hold back, because you don't want someone saying, "Who do you think you are?" But what I learned with Proctor Gallagher Institute is that, who do you think you are? Because who you are is who you think you're not. And when people are saying that question to you, or if you're talking about someone else, that's about them and it has nothing to do with you. So I left home when I was 17, and I still live on the island, but I'm leaving now because I'm retired. I just retired. So anyway, big family, small town can really hold you back.
Wow. Wow. Listen, I can relate. Oh my gosh. I even wrote about that in my book, No More Flinching, 5 Steps to Overcoming Adversity. One of the ways I grew up is just being told to shut up all the time. All of the time. So much so that I didn't even use the muscles in my mouth right enough to be able to speak and articulate my words. I had to do speech therapy and classes and things like that. So I can definitely relate. Thank you for sharing that powerful message. And we're getting ready to go to the next question. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you're showing some love. Somebody said no more flinching, standing strong. There was a comment I wanted to read earlier. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, let's see if we can find it. This is the one. Is this the one? Yes. Mrs. Robertson. I love the honesty, ladies, in the conversation. It reminds us that no one began life with a perfect persona. You are just keeping it real and showing how you grew into the phenomenal women you are today. Thank you. I think you all need to hear that right now while you're live. And I think this is so amazing. So thank you for that. We're getting ready to go into the next question. And I want to pass the mic to Jessica James Henry. I know you knew I was coming that way. And this next question is, and don't forget to unmute before you start speaking, but this is the question. What's a moment in your life that nearly broke you, but built you instead?
Wow, thank you for that question, Carlotta. One moment that nearly broke me was, I would say, when I was a child, being sexually assaulted and not knowing what it was. And then you become to getting all these different feelings and you're like, okay, I know I'm different. And I believe I was hurt, but I think it's now my fault because I was hurt. And you have to hold that shame in. You can't tell anybody because if you tell them, they're going to say, okay, why did you allow that to happen? So you feel hopeless. So that was a chain breaking thing for me as a child. I was like, okay, now I feel damaged. I can't do anything good because I've been assaulted. This bad thing happened to me, so now I think I'm bad in return. I think I'm damaged goods. So that's how I was growing up. I didn't want to do anything to be successful. I didn't want to play any sports. I didn't want to do anything, extra activities in school. I truly felt like it was a sore thumb. I feel like if I came into a room, you will be able to see that. You will be able to identify that I had been touched by somebody else and I was dirty. Yeah, so that was a huge issue for me.
Wow. I mean, I definitely can relate to that. It's so interesting how I'm able to find identifiers in each one of your answers. I'm pretty sure you're connecting with the audience tonight. Once again, audience, if you love the content and it's powerful and impactful to you, make sure you're showing love on YouTube. Hit those hearts and make sure you continue to comment. Make sure you subscribe and share. Who would like to, if you can get the mics muted, because I'm hearing a little echo right now. That'd be great. Thank you so much. Who would like to take that question next? I don't want to show any favoritism and I don't want to pick on nobody. So
I would love to.
Who is that? Is that Angela? Angie?
Yes.
All right. Do you need me to reread the question or you got it?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will reread it for you. All right. What's the moment in your life that nearly broke you but built you instead?
Okay. I gotta take a breathe before I can answer that. The moment that broke me, try to break me, but build me instead. I was raped by a very powerful man in Georgetown, Guyana, the Commissioner of Police. Did not know what to do because this man was, when I tell you, very powerful. He's the head of the police force. He was close with the president. And I did not know if I come out and speak out, what would have happened to me because I was raped at gunpoint. I have this way with me. If you do not kill me, that means God did not allow you to. So I will speak. And I came out and I came home. My mom saw when I came home. My mom saw when he brought me home. And I was living at the bottom of my mom's home. I was teaching in Trinidad and the Holy Spirit gave me some information, and I used the information that God gave me because I'm born with spirit of discernment. And I went to Guyana, and when I got home, whatever happened, that's a story for another time. I came home, and my mom came down and saw me and asked me who was that and what happened. My clothes was all burst and blood, and I explained to her, and my mom told me not to say it to anyone, just keep my mouth shut. Knowing the child I am, I don't keep my mouth shut. I don't care who it is. I tried to commit suicide. I stood on a chair and I kicked off that chair, and my feet came back on that chair. I went off. It happened 3 times. So for the 3rd time, I heard a knocking on the door. It was my daughter. She was around 8, 9 that time. And I sat on the chair asking God, like, where were you? Why this happened to me? Knowing the person I am, and now this happened to me, always helping, always giving, everybody cross my path, always speaking about Jesus Christ, why it happened to me. My daughter said to me, what happened to you, Mom? I asked her, I said, do you know what rape is? I was shocked of the answer that she given to me, because she said to me, yes, when someone, had sexual intercourse with you without your consent. So I burst into tears, and she's asking me why I'm crying. So I said to her, I didn't know you know what it was. She said, yes, Mommy, because she's very smart. She said, whoever did that to you, Mommy, look at me. And this little tiny girl held me by my shoulder and shook me. She said, look at me. You don't do that. Don't cry. You are going to go and speak out, and somebody will listen to you. Mommy, you taught me about God. Somebody will listen to you, and God is going to allow that person to, I didn't say the word that she said to me, but she said, God is going to allow that person to get what coming to them. And that gave me the courage. I stood up. I went out the very next day, even though I was threatened by the person not to go out. I went out the very next day, and I decided to go and reported the matter to an attorney friend that I had known at the time, Mr. Nigel Hughes, and I decided to go out from there. There were persons with guns were coming to try to kill me, and I did not flinch because I was coming across to stand to look and see where my daughter coming from school. And I overheard, I saw my neighbor first run, and they were hiding and closing up their window. So I look at the person walking past the car, and I overheard the person is asking the commissioner, who is this person? Describe her to me. Well, I'm very easy to describe because of the way I'm shaped. Describe her to me, and these different stuff. And the description he was giving on the phone, I could have heard, because all 4 of the windows down, there were 4 men in the car with guns. As I am hearing he is giving them the description, they could have easily identified who I am, because it is me walking from my home, waiting by the bridge. But how powerful God is. God shielded me from them. They did not even see me. They did not look at me. And due to that, I have stand up on that day when the car turned around. I said, boss, we didn't see anyone. And they drove away. I stood up and I said, God, I will never stop praising you. I will never stop thanking you. Lord, I want to give you the utmost praise as you kept me once more alive, because I could have died in the room when I was raped. You didn't allow that. They could have easily identified me. I'm very shapely. I'm tall. I'm big built. They could have identified who I am. And they did not do that. And I said, Lord, I will never stop giving you praise. I will never stop giving you thanks. I did not flinch. And here I am today, continue to speak out. There were a time that I was so embarrassed. I don't want to come out. I don't want to say anything. I have cried for years upon years upon years, feeling dirty. Like Jessica said, I felt dirty about myself. I felt like I am nobody, even to my own family turn against me, laughing at me, making mockery at me, to see that here, this powerful person, this person who was always giving, look what happened to you. But I want to give God praise and thanks, because here I am on No More Flinching television talk show, and I'm telling my story so that anyone out there who heard at the sound of my voice, you're hearing me. I want you to know this. God has not given up on you, not because something bad happened to you. God allowed things to happen for his reason and his purpose. And I want everyone at the sound of my voice to know, listen, man will fail you. Man will say all things to you. Man will cry shame at you. Once God did not cry shame at you, you don't care about anyone said anything. Use your story. Do not flinch. Speak out. Tell everyone you can tell, because you may save someone else's life. Hadn't God sent my daughter downstairs that night, I do not know what I was going to do. But God did not want me to die, because I'm a vessel of him, chosen by the chief cornerstone. I have to stand and bring out other person who are hiding and who are flinching. So that's all I have to say.
Wow. I mean, layers upon layers, and I can identify with that. When you said your baby shook you and said, no, you're not going to cry. You're going to tell your story. Somebody's going to listen to you. I mean, that is so powerful. Angie, like, wow. Wow. Very inspirational. Very inspirational. Somebody said, yes, amen, Angie. That's how God works. Yes, speak out and do not flinch by Miss Lucky. I want to pass the mic right now to Miss Renee. I would love to hear your take on this question, Miss Toppins. So I'm going to read the question again. And if you don't mind, please share with us how this question tests you. So what's a moment in your life that nearly broke you, but built you instead?
I just want to say to Angie, really quickly, you know, you are a hero. You are an absolute hero. And because you survived that, so many women who are broken will have the courage to speak themselves back together, speak themselves back to life. And so thank you so much for your story. The thing that almost broke me was a man. And it was my husband who walked out on me, left me for another woman. I was actually married to somebody's boyfriend, and I did not know I was married to somebody's boyfriend. But the thing that was most unique about this breaking, because there's going to be an attempt to break, because that's the enemy's job, because a whole woman is a force to be reckoned with. And the enemy specializes in fear. So he's going to send somebody to make you afraid. He sent Angie, a rapist. He sent our other sister, a molester. He sent me a man of God. And when I say a man of God, I met this man in the church. I thought he was of God, from God. But how many of you know that the devil will come disguised as the thing that you're most desperate for? Because desperation is deception. So I'm in the church. I'm living for God. I'm believing. We are, listen, ladies, catch this. We abstinent till marriage. I'm abstinent till marriage. I did it the right way. I did it God's way. I did it the Bible way. And yet still, after 8 years of marriage, this man walked out on me on March the 21st, 2005, and went across town to live with another woman. He just left. He just moved out. And I can't even say Carlotta almost broke me. I can say broke me, because I was broken. But when you break the vessel, when Mary broke that expensive vat of oil on when you break the vessel, the oil comes out. See, married to him, I wouldn't be Renee Toppins. He would not have allowed me to do this vision. He would not have allowed me to be the head of Black women who want more, because he still to this day says there's only one vision in the house, and the vision is my vision, and you're a helpmeet. I am a helpmeet for God's vision, not for your vision. And if we're supposed to be one, then it is just one vision. But I was broken. and I was left as ashes, but I got beauty for my ashes and oil out of my brokenness. So I want to say to everybody who's listening, see, this thing that I thought was of God broke me, but apparently it was my choice. Because can I tell you the truth about it for real, if I be transparent, he cheated on me while we were engaged. And God will speak to you and he will show you what you're getting into. But me, because I had invested 2 years in the relationship, because he was an attorney, because our life was all set up and set up. Do you know what God asked me before I married him? God said, I've shown you his flesh. Is this what you want to deal with? Because you are marrying David. You're marrying David. Do you want the brokenness of a David? Do you want to marry a cheater? Because I showed you before you married him that you're a cheater. And so then when he cheated on me because he was a cheater, then I cried out to God, oh God, he cheated on me. He said, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out. But you told me this was what you could deal with. You told me you could deal with a cheater. I gave you what you settled for. God said, I gave you what you settled for. Because sometimes we don't get what we ask God for, and God lets us have what we settle for. But like my book coach, Dr. Trinaker Gilbert says, it was necessary. She has a book in a journal. It was necessary. I know that you were broken, listener. I know that you were broken, panelist, but you were broken so God could put you back together as Carlotta, so he could put you back together as Victorious, so he could put you back together as Sheila, so he could put you back together and the oil would flow. So what almost broke me, oh baby, not almost, because I had to be broken over to this way, so God can say, I want this part of you and I want this part of you because this is the center of my perfect will. You are the whole person when you need me and need me only and not a man. So Renee Toppins, do I have your attention now? And are you ready to do that thing for which I was created, now that you are no longer leaning on a man? Because when you lean on man, when you lean on people, when you lean on money, those things will move, and when you fall, you'll get broken. So I want to say to you, on Christ the solid rock I stand, on other ground is sinking sand, and I lean not to my own understanding, but I lean on Jesus, and he will not let me fall. So I will not flinch, nor will I be broken ever again. I stand before you whole, delivered, set free, and in his will.
Now see there. Hold up now. I'm prior military. 15 years law enforcement. I ain't supposed to be up here crying now. Doc, that was powerful. And you almost got me wanting to jump in front of myself and start talking about this next chapter, about me being disobedient to God. When God said, don't marry that man, do not file them marriage papers in the court. And I took with my nose in the air, thinking I was doing something, married the biggest con artist that I've ever dreamed or read about. Turned stalker. Just had to deal with the police last night, up at 4 o'clock this morning, praying and getting ready, and still here. How many people can relate to still going through? They say don't share anything that you're going through until you overcame it. But I'm going to jump out there because I know that I've already overcame you, stalker, with the help of Jesus Christ. I've already overcame. Man, you just woke up something in me, and I know you woke up something in somebody else. Good Lord, have mercy. Whew. All right. Let me see who's gonna get this mic next. Who want to answer this question next? Because I'm not supposed to be in the panel. I'm over here. Listen, that was so powerful. We got people in the comments saying, amen. You had to be broken so God can fix you and put you on the path he needs you to be. Whew. Listen, so many amens, so many claps, So much fire. So many people saying powerful. That was earth shattering. I believe it was Jessica James Henry that said something about shaking in the earth before we even started this broadcast. Each one of these women, I just want to tell you, make sure you follow them. Make sure you check out what they are doing. They are all amazing. It is not by happenstance. It's not by coincidence that they are all on this panel. And I would like to pass the mic right now because we still have a few more questions to go. Y'all know it's good. Make sure you're liking the lives. Carlotta Williams. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Carlotta Williams says, powerful exclamation. You know, the good exclamations, the double red ones, right? Make sure you're liking the live. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you're subscribing. We are so honored to be able. I'm honored to be able to hear this story. You're speaking into me and filling my cup. This is so inspiring. I'm just like, wow. Whew. All right, Sheila, I would love for you to answer this question. We have quite a few more questions, and I believe we might be able to move around a little bit. We might not get all of them answered, but it's okay. We can always come back for a part 2. So if you want a part 2, make sure you put part 2 in the comments. We want to see if you would like for these women to come back and share more. We still got a little time to go, but if you would like them to come back, make sure you put part 2 in the comments. We're going to be looking for it, okay? Sheila, answer for us. What's a moment in your life that nearly broke you but built you instead?
That's a tough question for me because I've kind of been broken a few times. And this time I have it right because, like you women, God has stepped into my life and said, enough of that. You know, the last several years, I have been in every morning, I have coffee with God. That's what I do. And people say, why are you doing that? And it's because everything that I've studied when I was, let's say, down and out and everything else, what I discovered was all personal development comes from the Bible. And it's just that most people, and thank God for you women, but most people in personal development areas don't talk about God. And that to me is wrong because it all comes from God. But the most broken time I was in my life and when I had a major transformation was when my mom died, because I realized that she was emotionally absent. And before she died, she apologized to me. She knew what she had done to me. And, you know, the Holy Spirit came in the room. And I was there with my oldest sister. We were there with my mom in that moment. And my mother took this gasp. She didn't die, but we thought she was going to die. And we were saying this would have been a really important moment. But it changed me so dramatically that I became a different person. And I often wonder if that happens to other people. And I started seeing things lately where people were talking about when their mothers passed, that they changed who they are. And I did dramatically. In 2017, I only had one child. He's a man now, he's 27, but he almost died and nobody knew what was wrong with him. And I was never so afraid in my entire life. And that would have been, of everything that's happened to me, broken relationships, people using me, leaving you for broke. That was the most trying thing, because to me, my son was a gift from God. And the reason I knew that was because the year before my son was born, I was living in British Columbia. I was pregnant and I was due on May 14th. And something happened that the baby didn't grow. And I ended up moving back to Newfoundland and I got pregnant. And when I went to the doctor, she said, your due date is May 14th. It was actually, 1 year later, exactly the same thing. And I knew in my heart and soul that God needed me to get my crap together so that I could be the mother that I was supposed to be. So for the most part, I did end up raising my son on my own, and he's very successful today. And for women out there, play, you know, when you have your children around, make sure you're playing positive things, showing your child things. They're listening, even if they look like they're not paying attention, because when they become an adult, after you get rid of the teenagehood, you discover that everything that you wanted your child to be and to, you know, I asked my son when he had surgery a couple of years after that, because he ended up finally being diagnosed with Crohn's. And I said to him, did you pray? Did you pray before you went into the surgery? And he said, why are you asking me that? And I said, because it's really important for me to know. I just want to know if you did. And he said, yes, I did. And the doctor that operated on my son was from Guyana. And I just, she was amazing. And she said to me, your son is a very special young man. She said, he said to me before they put him out, you make sure that you take care of me because God is taking care of me. He knew, so I felt so good because everything I taught him when he was young came back. That's my biggest fear for today for young people whose parents don't teach them about God. What are they gonna do if we're not here? If our children don't know about God? That's my greatest fear for the world today. And I just think it's important for people to teach their kids about God because they're going to need God.
Yeah, I mean, that's so inspiring. And thank you so much for sharing that. I know it touched somebody. We have really great comments coming in. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're liking the lives. Make sure you're subscribing to No More Flinching TV on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing. And if you like the content, just make sure you're making those type of actions. And we have had so many part 2 requests since you all have been answering that question. So we're definitely going to have to bring you ladies back. We still have a few more questions. Thank you so much, Sheila, for sharing that. And I don't think there's no coincidence that, you know, you're here with people from Guyana and Guyanese influence. And then the doctor who operated on your baby boy was Guyanese. Look how God put that together. I mean, nothing just happens in my TD Jake's voice. That is incredible. And they're still coming in with the part 2s even now. So this right here is just so amazing and so inspiring. We're going to go to the next question, and I'm going to bring it back to Angie. Okay. So the next question that we're going to go with tonight: what battle scar do you carry that became your badge of honor? Woo. Angie, you have the mic.
I have a lot of battle scar. I have tons and tons of battle scars. But I wasn't born to flinch again. And I was not born to let anything, God did not created me to let anything keep me down. There are some identity was given to me by God. He said, I'm the head and not the tail. He said, I'm first and not the last. God said, I'm above and not beneath. God said, I'm healthy and not sick. He said, I'm rich and not poor. All right. I'm the head and not the tail. Those are my identity that God was given to me. Lord, please let me share on whichever one you want me to share on. Out of 7 of us, 2 of my brothers died one night, was shot and killed by their best friend one night. I'm the last out of 7. My grandmother, God rest her soul, always had a thing she would say. You're going to be the head for this family. And I have become a millionaire at a tender age. I became very, very rich at a tender age. And my mom, God rest her soul, had a thing she always used to say to me. God gives you this money. You're the one supposed to help this family. And I always help my family, regardless of whoever they are, on both sides of my family, both mother and father side. Since I heard somebody they're not talking directly to me, but since I hear somebody said, oh, I have this bill to pay, I am taking out the money and I'm helping. However, both my mom, I don't want to cry, Lord help me. Both my mom and my dad took ill at the set time. Since I'm a little girl, I would have dreams. And if the Lord give me a vision and said this person is going to pass away, that person will pass away. And God will give me direct dream. Direct, like if this person got, like, for example, my mom, the Lord said my mom going to pass away on the 23rd of December 23rd. She did pass away on the 23rd of December 23rd. The Lord said my dad is going to pass away on the 14th of December 2014. My dad passed away the 14th of December 2014. I'm going to share this because this hurt me a lot. It's still hurting me. I'm asking the Holy Spirit to please help me heal from it. I have only one sister. I brought my sister and her husband and her children up to this country. Paid everything for them to come up here. I'm not a person who have much friends. I'm more family oriented. Because like I said in your last show, the word the word family is very, 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 it's a very special word to me. Family. Fam, forget about me. ILY, I love you. So I'm always family oriented. I would leave my mansion. I always live in the suburb. I would leave my home and I would go back to where my sister is living, and I would always keep Thanksgiving and everything. I does everything I does with my sister. However, when both of my parents took ill, I did not have the chance to take care of them. I did not have the chance to be there for them, which is still plaguing on my mind. But it's so much more to what I'm saying right now. And I am asking my sister when my mom passed away, is there anything you need for daddy? Do you need any Pampers? Do you need any insured? Is there anything? Do you need me to come and help? And I would not get any response. And I'm sending messages to my brothers, them back home in Guyana, my two brothers, asking them. I'm sending message to my brother in Ohio. I'm asking them, why isn't my sister reaching out to me? Why isn't she responding back to me? However, I called one day and I asked her, what happened? Why are you not allowing me to see daddy? And my response that I got, I was told to ask my eldest brother, why? So I'm saying, I'm talking to you. Why can't you give me an answer? I was told, ask my brother. So I asked my brother, and my brother told me that a pastor told my sister not to be around me or come around me or let me go around my dad because I'm working voodoo, evil. In our country, we call it obia. And I want to kill my sister, that I went to a obia person to kill my sister. And I took the Bible. I cried. I went down on my knees. I'm asking my brother, because I heard he was the one who took out the picture, and said to the pastor, are you sure? This is our sibling. This is the other sibling. You sure it's her? And he said, yes. No, I started to cry because of the reason why I was crying. This said pastor had put me through renunciation. And who knows about God and renunciation? You have to renounce everything that you have done in your life. It doesn't matter if you had murder, you got to renounce everything. Our body is the temple of God, and he's dwelling inside of us. If you've done anything wrong, at the end of the day, our soul lives on. So you got to clean your soul up, because when you die, you got to answer to everything. Like I have a saying that I always say, when you die, on your casket, there is the date of birth, a dash, and the date of death. God is responsible for the date of birth and the date of death. However you live that dash, that is what you are responsible for. You got to answer to God for. And I am crying and asking, like, did anyone ever say to this pastor who I am, what I does for my family? I brought my family here. I did so much. Did anyone say that? Why would I want to kill my own sister? I grew up, I'm the only one coming against, talking against, praying against evil in my family. Now, how am I that hypocritical to talk against this, come up against, talk about this, and now I'm being accused of it? And to say all in all, I was upset, went for my dad's funeral. I came back way earlier before because I was upset and I still cannot understand and believe, why would my own sister believe this of me? If you grow in the home with me, you know what I stand for. We eat out of the same pot. We sleep on the same bed. Why would you think this about me? And I am crying and I'm asking God. I didn't spoke to my sister for so long. I did spoke with her yesterday. I don't speak with some of my nieces. Like I just want to stay by myself and don't want to talk to nobody because I'm saying, Lord, you allow me to do what you want me to do. I'm not going to do what you don't want me to do. I've been doing it and I've been getting burned. Every time I am right and my family come after me, I am saying I'm taking the wrong just because I want to make peace. I'm very straight up. I'm very bold. God created me that way and I'm going to continue to be that way. I'm not going to flinch. And I decided to cry and asking God, why? And the answer I got, I am not sure if it's from God or if it's my mind telling me this thing. But the Lord said, if you're not going to listen, I'm going to continue to put you through until you listen. Not because it's your family, you are going to be that open, or you're going to allow yourself to be used repeatedly, and all different stuff the Lord was saying to me. Wow. But at the end of the day, I want to give God praise and thanks because I able to forgive my sister. I able to forgive the pastor. And I carry that along with me from the time I've heard about it. It's close to a year now. And I forgive everyone else who would think that way of me. Wow. And I was ashamed to come out and talk on the television or say certain things because in my mind I'm saying, when you're a man or woman of God, please be careful of what you're saying to persons, because as a vessel of Jesus Christ, the name pastor is a name that carries weight. As a vessel of Jesus Christ, you have to be careful because persons will believe you. And you have to make sure what you're airing, it come from God and not the devil. Because you don't know, you can break up somebody else's life. You can cause someone not to go further in serving God. But I want to thank God that it did not break me. I did not flinch. Here I am today. I am sharing this. If there's any person who having problem with their family member, I want you to know, forgive. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I will repay. The victory is ours and the battle belongs to the Lord. Because the devil did not break me. Here I am talking with my sister. And I want to give God praise and thanks for that. And that's all I want to say.
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, that is such a heartfelt story. And I know so many people can relate to that. Thank you for sharing that because, man, I mean, you brought up memories for myself, my own family. And I love your acronym for family. Forget about me. I love you. That touched me the first time I heard it. My story hits a little different. In my book, No More Flinching, girl, the word family used to almost make me cringe because I used to hate it. Right? Now I appreciate that word. To me, it didn't mean much back then, but I had to learn some things and overcome. But thank you so much, Angie, for sharing that. Very powerful. And I know somebody here can relate. And one thing about forgiveness, you all, forgiveness it's a different path that you must take for yourself. You must walk it out. I talk about forgiveness and how you can try your best to forgive, and sometimes you may feel like, you know what, it's still there, but it's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just keep trying again. Because the moment you can let that pain go, you can start walking into who God created you to be. Because if you're holding on to it, it's only building being trapped inside your body. And stress is not a luggage that you want to carry around, because it's not going to do you any good. Thank you so much for sharing that, Angie. We're gonna skip down to a question because I want to make sure that we get another question answered. I do want to make this announcement that as we get ready, before we wrap up, there are some things about the Adriana Young's case that Angie and I will transition into. But before we do that, we want to pass the mic around. I would say if we can, at least two more questions, because one question we know we must answer before we depart. And I want to pass the mic around. And if you would like to speak on this question, I want to make sure everybody gets the chance to answer one question from the list and the final question with no more flinching. Okay. We want to make sure we can pass that around before we transition into the last portion of this broadcast. So the question that's really sticking out to me is, we're going to talk about, how did you go from surviving to serving? And Queens, when we talk about serving, I want you to talk about the work that you're actually doing today. We don't have we're going to definitely have to bring everybody back. We already know that everyone is wanting you all back. They want to hear more from you, and that's amazing. But I do want you to tap into what you're doing in your life, how you're serving, but wrap it up in, how did you go from surviving to serving? And we want to keep it, let's try to see if we can answer it a little bit quicker, because we have a lot of information and we have another question that we want to answer. But who would like to answer that question? Just raise your hand and I'm going to come to you. I'm going to pass the mic to you. All right, Miss Renee. And then we're going to go to Jessica right after that. Okay, Renee, the mic is yours.
All right. Really quickly, I want to tell you the difference between surviving and serving. Surviving is self-focus. Surviving is when you're focused on you, yours, and everything that's in your vicinity, in your circle, in your life. And when you are simply surviving, you're not operating in purpose, because your purpose is outside of you. What's in you is not for you. What's in you was designed for you to give to others, but the enemy wants to keep you in survival mode. And I just want to go back to the last question for just a little bit, because Sister Angie was talking and the question was about a scar and a wound. The difference between a scar and a wound is hurt that's still open. A wound is something that is seeping. A wound is something that every time you touch it a little bit, you flinch. When you touch a wound, you flinch. When you touch a scar, you don't flinch. And so once our wounds are no longer open, see, when we're in survival mode, that's open wounds, Sister Angie. That's open wounds. When every time you mention the word family, I flinch. Every time you mention, you talk about this pastor who told these lies, and the lies were designed. If you are the power person in the family, if you are the generational curse breaker, of course, somebody's going to come along and say, don't talk to her because she's praying for you. Don't talk to her because she's the person that I sent to serve you. So what's going to happen is you're going to get disconnected from your destiny helpers because you are wounded. Every little thing offends you. Every little thing you're sensitive to. And that's because we walk around wounded, but wounded people can't serve because we're trying to survive. So we must be healed. And the difference between survival and how I move from survival to service is when God said, it's not about you. So when that man left me, I started an organization called Black Women Who Want More, because when I was with him, it was all about him. It was about me and him and a child. I'm a wife and I'm a mother, but God said, I did not put you in this earth to be a wife and a mother only. I gave you a global dual assignment. I sent you to talk to hundreds and thousands of people, to serve people, not just to be a wife and a mother. So that wound from that divorce turned into a scar. So now when I talk about it, I don't flinch. When I see him, I don't flinch. When he calls my phone to talk about our child, I don't flinch. When he got remarried, I didn't flinch. I babysit his kids. You know why? Because I'm no longer wounded. I have scars, and those scars signify the things that I survived. And somebody who's scarred can serve, somebody who's wounded cannot. So how did I move from survival to service? I healed. I realized it wasn't about me. And now when people bump up against me because I have scars and not wounds, baby, I don't flinch. You can't offend me. You can't pull me into conflict. You can't cuss me out and get a rise out of me, because I am healed, and healed people can serve because they're no longer surviving. And it's not just about you. It becomes about your purpose, because what's inside of you is not for you. And once you heal, you can serve.
Okay. Somebody pick the mic up off the floor so we can proceed. Listen, wow, powerful. Thank you for answering that question in good fashion, Renee Toppins. That was incredible. And you brought out something when you were answering that question, and it made me reflect on Angie's answer as well. There's this old saying, I don't know how it goes because I'm not really good with quotes, but you know, if the devil ain't messing with you, if he ain't trying to destroy you, that means you already playing with him. He already got you in his territory. He don't need to bother you. You good. But when things are happening, and it seems like bad things are happening, things are coming to like pull you, stretch you apart, and you're thinking it's a bad thing, when really that is like the sign that you are that person. That the devil want to test, the devil want to try to destroy, but God is not going to allow that to happen. That's a whole nother conversation for another day right there. But wow, man, this is touching so deep, so inspiring, ladies. Listen, who would like, raise your hand if you would like to answer that question next. All right, Jessica James. We are Jessica James here. Let me say that right. We're going to pass you the mic, and then we're going to see who else want to answer that question as we get ready to transition. All right.
Absolutely. Look, Miss Renee came to preach tonight. I said, you know what? We on in the church tonight. I love it. But repeat that question again for me, Carlotta.
All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so how did you go from surviving to serving? And be sure to incorporate the work that you're doing now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for repeating that. I want to talk about when they said about the wounds and the scars when it comes to surviving and serving. What about the scars that we can't see? Those psychological wounds. Those are the things that held me back for so long. But one thing I can say to you all, if God allowed it, he intends to use it. That's what my pastor always says. And I said, you know what? That's impactful because I live that every single day. When it came down to the child abuse, what I do now, I help children overcome child abuse and psychological abuse every single day. When it came to domestic violence, being abused while pregnant, I help women for the Nonviolence Center every single day overcome those different issues. And I am able to heal my old self and be that source and provide resources for the community on today. Only a God can do that. Only the creator can create something like that. So it came from renewing the mindset. I said, I had to create Trauma Breakthrough Series, so I had to go through first multiple forms of trauma. And you think about that, we want to go into a winning season. Okay, well, what about the brokenness? We have to be broken. If you're going to win, you got to be broken. If you're going to win, you have to endure. So that's something we have to make sure that we appreciate that process and know, hey, you're going to win, but guess what? Before you win, you have to go through something and appreciate that process when you're doing so.
Absolutely. Outstanding. I love it. The Breakthrough Tribe. Thank you. That was amazing. Listen, I want to pass the mic to yes, I was coming your direction. I was coming your way. And I wanted to make sure, I didn't know if I was going to go Jim or Victorious, but we're going to say Victorious. Yes, take us away.
So what do you want me to answer, Carletta?
Carlotta.
Same question about the scars?
Okay, 1 second. The question is, how did you go from surviving to serving?
All right. So I want to say first and foremost that we are here by divine connection today. There's a powerhouse of women of purpose and power. And I believe that this was divinely orchestrated for us to meet at this forum. And definitely there must be a part two because it's not over yet. You know, one of the things that would have brought me this far is learning how to heal by forgiving. And just this morning, we had a powerful deliverance service, and I spoke to the issue of what the enemy tried to do to break us. And one of the things before I get into the hands is that because you were tree, you are loaded with fruit. You are not barren, you are not naked. And so the enemy is looking, he is monitoring, he's watching you. And because he see what you have, he now tries to attack you so he can break you, try to destroy the fruits that are coming out of you. He did not know that you went through brokenness and tears and wounds that was oozing, and now there's just scars that you can see, and some psychological scars. I want to say tonight that the God whom we serve has seen, we all have been broken potters, and we went into the house of the potter and he fixed us. And so tonight we sit here as powerhouses of women, not for ourselves, but for those who are looking because they too have a story. Carletta had gone through so many seasons of adversity that the time is too limited for me to say. But what I can say from that what I've done in my times of adversity, I always write a poetry. And so quickly I have one before my face, and I'll just read this poetry that's brought me back when I was thinking. And it goes this way. Some of life's adversities attended me. I felt like I was tossing in a turbulent sea. With no earthly hand to rescue me, I felt the pain of agony. I staggered, yes, I did. I fell, and sometimes I even hit bottom. But my determination to overcome did not allow me to succumb. Suddenly, a voice beckoned to me. You were not born to live a life of mediocrity. So take a leap of faith and you will see that awaiting you is the beginning of a new life transforming journey. I had no other choice but to surrender. For the voice was so strong, it drummed in me like thunder. I prayed, oh my creator, you have created me with purpose to impact lives with my many stories. With boldness and tenacity, whether on the mountaintop or down in the valley, they have all shaped and prepared me. My book is now open, and I am ready to tell you about the many times I have been broken, I've been bruised, hallelujah, and I fell. I will not walk and bow my head. I will look up as life's journey I tread. I will speak my truth and unashamed and unapologetically of how I overcame this world that seems so insane, crazy, and full of pain. But you are the one to defy the fate and get on with life's game. Life race teaches you how to overcome the pain. Now, look at me, empowered, standing tall, telling my story. So, my beloved, do not rob the world of what they have been waiting for. For your story will give them courage to go on. And I feel moved to share this particular poem so you'll understand that I was in the pit. I was abused in the church environment by people who I trust, pastors and leaders. I was called the black sheep, but you know what? The Lord pulled me up. They were calling me Saul, but he declared to me, you are now Paul. And today, I'm not standing from a place of boast, but I'm standing from a place of humility and power. And that is why I am pulling women, my ministry, those who are broken, those who have a story, those who don't have a voice, those who are physically abused, those who are mentally tortured, those who are going through. My beloved sisters, we are here tonight, not by, I said by accident. I feel the presence of the Holy Spirit, that something is going to break even in the lives of those online. I want to say to Sister Angie, that is not by accident she has come here tonight. Or whatever the enemy meant for evil, you watch and see. I did not come to preach, but I will speak as led by the Holy Spirit. Whatever the enemy meant for evil, you stand still, Angie. You stand firm and see the salvation of your God. The thing that they would have done to the baby Adriana, everything has been exposed, and you watch and see that justice is rapping at the door. So you continue to speak unapologetically. It doesn't matter who threaten you. I want to declare to you that the God who parted the Red Seas is on your side. And this case will not go as a mystery, but God will fight this battle. Carletta, you are blessed and highly favored. The moment you connected with me, I knew that this was a divine assignment. And it's not over until we win. I see you coming to Florida in November. I want to tell you, my sister, I'll be right there to meet you. I did not go into what I want to say, but I trust the few words I said would have encouraged somebody that we are not going to flinch. We are going to stand as warriors of God. We're going to win. Because what? The battle is the Lord, and the victory belongs to us. My sisters, you are saints. You are ambassadors of God, and that is a particular position you must cherish. I say peace, it is well. It is. I felt so passionate tonight, but God is good anyhow.
Woo! I'm really speechless by every person that is speaking. Every single person. Every single person. Oh my gosh, this is so powerful. We are going to have to come back, ladies. We are now going to transition to the last question, and within a minute or less. I mean, first of all, I'm speechless. I cannot wait to go back and watch this over and over. Make sure if you're watching and tuning in on YouTube, be sure to share the love. Be sure to subscribe on No More Flinching TV. Be sure to share the link out. Be sure to let other people know that you're getting inspired right here on No More Flinching TV with all of these amazing queens. The chats are blowing up, but it's time for us to start winding down. That was so powerful. Man, I knew it was something. See, every person that's on this platform right now is only here because God called them here. Every single person today who showed up, including Dee, even though she had to leave early. And so we knew she had to leave early. So she didn't just fall off. We already were aware. But I want to thank you, ladies. But before we leave today, in 60 seconds or less, Angie, I'm going to come to you last because we're going to transition before you have to go, before we have to end this live. In 60 seconds or less, ladies, I'm going to start the mic with Renee because I'm looking at you right directly in the screen. What does no more flinching mean to you, and how does it show up in moments in your life?
Well, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. The fiery darts of the wicked will make you flinch. And once you recognize the fiery darts of the wicked, there will be no more flinching, and you will rise, rise, rise. Flinching oppresses you. Flinching, oppress to push you down. And once you realize you have the sword of the Spirit, the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation. When you are in full armor, you look at those fiery darts and you do not flinch. No flinching means no fear.
Woo. No more flinching, no more shrinking, no more fear. I love that. I say that all the time, man. You just hit it home. That was amazing. Thank you so much. And wow, no more flinching has a big, huge impact. And I appreciate all of you who are chanting no more flinching in your lives and standing up for what you believe in and walking in your purpose. We're going to pass the mic now to Sheila. If you would answer the question, what does no more flinching mean to you? And how does it show up in moments in your life in 60 seconds or less?
No more flinching to me means I am worthy. That's what I think. When you finally get that you are worthy, you won't flinch anymore. because there's no great, to me, that's the 3 greatest words. The I am is there, and we're meant to value us because nothing of God is bad, right? Or unworthy. So I am worthy is no more flinching.
Wow. I love that take. I am worthy. And when you realize that you are worthy, there's no more flinching. I love that. Thank you so much, Sheila. That was incredible. I'm going to pass the mic now back to Victorious Jim. If you would answer the question, what does no more flinching mean to you, and how does it show up in moments in your life in 60 seconds or less?
No more flinching. I'll be quickly before I say that. I just want to shout out to Apostle London, who caused me to be connected to Carletta, my families, my friends, and the audience back in Guyana and the world at large. No more flinching. Speaks to do not fear. My God said, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of love, soundness, and a bold mind. He said, fear not, for I am with you every step of the way. So when circumstances come and try to face me in the face and stand up as a brick wall, I said, I am not fearful because what? My God has not given me a spirit of fear. So I will not flinch. I will stand strong. No more flinching.
Ooh.
No more being afraid. Thank you.
Outstanding. I appreciate that. Very strong, very powerful, very anointed, coming from everybody. I can feel the anointings in this broadcast with everyone that is on this panel. It is so powerful. It's almost like I feel like if I touch my computer, I'm gonna get shot. It's so much, good energy, good vibes, and great spirits coming from you all. I really appreciate it. I know everyone in the audience that's tuning in appreciates it. Once again, if you're still with us, which I know you are, because I can see all of you right now, your comments are amazing. Make sure you're showing love on YouTube. Hit that heart button. Keep tapping. Let the platform know that you are enjoying and being inspired by what you are hearing. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. And we look forward to bringing you back some more powerful energy. We're going to bring these ladies back because we have to have a part 2. You all have already declared it. And now I want to pass the mic to none other than Jessica James Henry. And then after Jessica answers, we're going to transition to Angie. I will say this. One moment. 1 second. I will say this. For a second. Okay, what I want to say this is that Angie, we're gonna go in. We have about 15 solid minutes with Angie before we have to conclude this live, right? 15, no more than 20. However, we're gonna go into the Adriana Young's case because there's some things that Angie has on the chest. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna some things we're gonna clear up, and some things that we're gonna shed light on dealing with Adriana Young. And definitely shout out to Nigel London. Big shout out. I wanted to piggyback off of you, Victorious, because I really appreciate, first of all, I appreciate the person who invited me to be a guest on Nigel London's podcast platform and being able to be connected with so many Guyanese family. My heart still goes out to you. So we're definitely, as promised, going to talk about some key points with the Adriana Young's case in just a moment. Now, after Jessica answers this question, I'm going to pass the mic to Angie, okay? But this is the thing. If you ladies, anybody who's on the panel, if you would like to stay with us, that is absolutely fine. If you have to go, that is absolutely fine. But I'm going to stay here and I'm going to hold Angie's hand as we get through some things that she wants to share in her heart. But before we go there, I got to hear my sister. I got to hear my girl, Jessica James Henry. We're gonna have to come back. I can't wait to come back, but I want to hear her answer this question. What does no more flinching mean to you, girl? And how does it show up in moments in your life?
Absolutely. Well, no more flinching for me is a war cry. I had to fight to get out some stuff, y'all. So no more flinching means if I believe that God sent me, then I know God gonna cover me. I can make it through anything. So no more flinching means I believe, so I'm gonna move differently. Not because the fear is gone, but because I have faith, I have healing, I have a strategy that gets louder because I linked up with God. Not because of me, but because I linked up with God. And that's when the vision became bigger than me. And that's when I flinched no more.
Wow, straight to the point. I love it. Linking up with God. That was one of the best things that I could really do because, oh my gosh, I used to flinch uncontrollably for years. I thought something was wrong with me. Like I had some type of issue or something, which I actually did. And I looked up one day and I realized I wasn't flinching anymore. And wow, And now here we are. Nothing but God right now. Nothing but God. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful answer. Thank you so much, Jessica. Now we're getting ready to transition. All the other panelists, please mute your mics. Okay. We're going to hear from Angie. Okay. The powerhouse. Man, her voice is so powerful. And I'm so honored. Sis, I'm so honored to be in communication with you. When I had the dream back in September of 2023, I had no idea that it would lead me to be connected to people like you and people like Victorious and Nigel London and Amicia and more, right? But what I want to do now is I want to set the stage for you, Angie, as you come to the mic, back to the mic. And I want you to share what's on your heart to share concerning the things dealing with the Adriana Young's case and anything that you would like to share right now.
There's so many stuff I would like to share concerning the Adriana case. However, I'm going to try to share on the confusion that has been surrounding Adriana's name, Adriana's parents' name, and try to set the record straight and try to put this train back on the railroad and the right track. And that's the track to victory and the track to justice for Adriana. I do not know where this all started. However, I'm going to start by saying when I met Ailey Comet, I told her what my government name is, and I did not want her to share my name. I explained the reason why I did not want her to share my correct name, only my middle name, or like Fire Feelings. Shout out to Let's Talk the Thing TV, Fire Feelings. He gave me the name Angie for short. I let her know everything why I do not want her to share my name. And I preferred being called by my middle name, or Angie. And there were times persons coming after Ailey because of this money that were donated to Ailey, that Ailey gave to me. First and foremost, Ailey did not want it to give that money to Amicia. At no point in time, Amicia's cousin Alana, there was no one could have get the money from Ailey for weeks. However, Amicia called me the night before, prior to the autopsy, and let me know that there was some more money was to come in, and Ailey was not giving that money over. I contacted Ailey that said night. I put Amicia on the phone, and I wanted Amicia did said to her, listen, Angie is Sabrian's cousin. She have all permission to speak on our behalf, to, do any transaction on our behalf, and I would like you to give the money over to her. I let Ailey know where I stand because I am very stern. I could be very stern, and I let her know where I stand, and I need the money by the very next day. First, I had said I needed the night, but she said she could not have get it to me. I said I need it, early in the morning. I never had PayPal. Alana had PayPal, so I was kind of confused at why Ailey did not want the money go to Alana. Ailey did ask me to open PayPal. I opened PayPal. She sent the money to me. I received $5,900 and something. Actually $5,800 and something. But what PayPal took out, I decided to put that back to bring it back to $5,900 and something. I spoke with Mr. Todd, and he directed me how to get the $5,000 to him. I sent that to him, and the $900 and something, I put that in an envelope with the breakdown of how Ailey sent the money to me and how I sent the money to Dr. Todd, the person that he allowed me to send it, asked me to send it to. And when I finished, I decided to call Ailey, let her know, thank you, please thank everyone for us and everything. Unfortunately, I am hearing this rumor keep going around about money, this cursing about. So Brian, Ailey would call me every time Brian is on a live, and she would say, oh, they're on live right now. You need to get them off and whatever. But to make a long story short, I have been on Ailey's side repeatedly. I'm very bold in standing out. I do not care who it is. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but power, love, and of a sound mind. I have said repeatedly, Brian needs to be, like thankful. They did came out, they thank Ailey. Ailey is saying nobody came out and thank her. I do not know how much more thanks Ailey need. But Ailey have been coming after me now. Today she have been coming after me, cursing me out, saying that I can go tell Dr. Todd, F Dr. Todd, and all other stuff. What I saw happen last night, I decided to let Ailey know. I said it on Fire Live that she's not supposed to be speaking on Adriana's case anymore. And if she does, it's going to be serious consequences, because you cannot be flip-flopping. Either you're doing this with a kind heart or not. Even though all of this have been transpired, I am still going to say thank you for what you have done so far. But we have come to that crossroad whereby I am seeing like a narcissistic behavior pattern. And I do not want anything to tainted what is going on or to stop the cloud. The cloud of victory, the cloud of justice for Adriana. And for the fact that Ailey decided to put out my name, my government name out there, without my consent, and the only reason I got for that from Ailey is Fata called her a con artist, and Brian said nothing about it. Now, I have been there for Ailey from the beginning. If Brian wrong, I would say, Ailey, Brian wrong. I am apologizing on his behalf. I will talk to the family. I would have them talk to you. If anybody is bullying Ailey, I would say if you wanted us to go and, if you want me to come on your platform, if you want me to bring a Missy on your platform, whatever, I will do that. Because I do not condole in bullyism. And I will try my best, but it's like it's not good enough, to the point where enough is enough with me. Ailey is not a white savior. I'm going to say it 1,000,001 times. She's not a white savior, and you're not going to operate. We're not in the colonial days. And no, these people that you're addressing us as, these people are human beings. We are God chosen. You're not going to do that. I have never heard in history whereby someone is asking back for money in the manner in which Ailey did from a grieving family. Embarrassing a grieving family. Yes, I'm aware that there were stuff going on, but Ailey created what is going on with her, what the public do not know. Ailey normally talks to us behind closed doors. And if you're talking to us behind closed doors, there are some things not for the media. You can call us behind closed doors as well. I had promised you I'm going to talk to Brian. I'm a person of my word. My word is my bond. I was going to do that. But every time Ailey talked to us or the mother, Amicia is still grieving. Brian is still grieving. I am still grieving. But you want it every time you talk to us. You're taking whatever little bit you heard and you go in and create a video. Nobody wants that. We need to stop speaking and let justice prevail. Or if you're speaking on it, you want to, just raise a little awareness by speaking out about it, or come up with a little, like telling the public, keep an update of what's going on. Do that. But do it in a rightful way and a respectful way. But to be cursing a father out, coming after the mother, you've been said repeatedly, I'm the only one who was on your side. So what went wrong? Where did we go wrong? Why are you coming after me now? So I want to ask you a question, Miss Carlotta.
Fire away.
What would you think of a person that release your name or release an information that you told them not to, what would you say about a person like that?
Well, I was definitely not expecting that question or a question, but I'm glad you asked me. This is not rehearsed. Now, I wouldn't take the approach or the angle or the perception of like just what would I think about that person, but what I know about breaching confidentiality. There has to be some type of trust and bond. If someone like, and I'm going from experience, if I'm getting information, I'm communicating with someone, there could come a time, like I know some of you have heard of situations, like let's just say I'm giving an example. You had a friend, and I'm pretty sure all of us have had a friend. And let's just say you had the fallout with that friend, but during that friendship, some of those friendships last a year, some of them last 20 years, 30 years. You can fall out with people, but there's going to be something that you know about that person that has been confidential. Just because something is not going right does not give you permission to air out a person's dirty laundry or share things that was told to you in secret. Now let's talk about professional platforms and professional titles when it comes to confidentiality. Well, you have a responsibility to maintain confidentiality. There are people who lose their careers for sharing things that they should not have shared. There are people who lose their credibility. There are people who lose their place. And more so than that, you lose a person's trust. So I would answer that question in that way, Angie, that is something no one should ever have to deal with. And once that happens, that pretty much breaks and crumbles the relationship or the bridge between that gap. And it's really kind of hard to come back from that. So when you speak about your name being out there, when you have made it, like me and you have so many conversations almost daily. And listen, my kids, my mom, people can tell you, I don't talk to anyone almost daily, not even almost daily. I've lost friendships over 20 years because they wanted me to be on the phone all day long. And I was like, But Angie, we have had several conversations. And not once have I thought about, airing it. Now, this is another thing. This is the back part. And I'm going to wrap this up so we can get to anything else you might want to share before we wrap up tonight. When you have a platform, I thank God for making me the way he makes me. And I'm inspired by God to talk about the things. And God reveals to me what needs to be shared. God reveals to me in this season. There was a season where I didn't know how to really run and operate this platform. But in this season where God has me right now, I'm being led by the Spirit of God, right? And when you're being led by something else, it's really easy to fall for that, itchy ear type thing. Oh, I got this. Let me go put this out there. And it's like doing the right thing for the wrong reason, right? And we don't want to do that. So I don't know how it can be made up to you. I don't know how it can be fixed. But no, it's not okay to breach confidentiality. And definitely when it comes to someone's name, because you told me several times, we had that understanding. As many times as we talk, you said you're not ready to share your real name. And therefore, it should not be shared. Back to you, Angie.
Well, that's breach of confidentiality. That's breach of trust. There's no more trust there. That already broken. And because of the how must I put it? Because of the person that I now get to see, I have come out and defended this young lady against so many persons. I have even cried on YouTube, begging persons to stop coming after her children and bashing her. Because, like I said, I am not for any bullyism. I know Michelle Obama said when you go low, when they go low, you go high. Yes, but I can also go low with her, but that's not who I am. I was once that person, but that's not who I am anymore. But because of that, and because of any little problem, you're coming out and saying that I'm gonna rest this case. This is an African queen, an African princess. Life was lost. This is not how our memory is supposed to be, continue to be shared in the public with this back and forth with you and other person, content creator. Keep it out of Adriana's name. Keep our name out of it. Keep our parents' name out of it. So because of all of that, I am saying this tonight again. Ailey Comet is not supposed to be bringing any content, and I mean no content at all, pertaining to Adriana's young. Not my name, not her mother name, not her father name, none family member for Adriana Young. I am saying to Ailey Comet tonight, you are not supposed to report on anything. You have dropped Adriana case for 3 or 4 times. I am telling you right now, cease and desist from reporting on anything pertaining to Adriana's Young. You are not a white savior. You are not God. It broke Amicia's heart to her that Ailey is saying to the mother of Adriana, because y'all cannot stand up and let Fata know what's going on, Adriana will not get justice. The blood of Jesus. Ailey is not going to give Adriana justice. Justice comes from God. He said, vengeance is mine. I will repay, says the Lord. He said, ask anything in his name and it shall be done. The Lord said, I will fight for you and I will see you through. He said, victory is ours. Victory is ours and the battle belongs to the Lord. What is going on? I know it's a battle we cannot fight. But God is our battle fighter. He is our way maker. He is our miracle mover. He is our mountain mover. And this is a battle for God. This battle already won in the natural, the physical, and the spiritual. So I am saying if Ailey Comet continue to bring any content or anybody send any video to me pertaining to Ailey Comet, bringing any video or anything pertaining to Adriana, I will deal with it, or the law will deal with it. And I'm saying this boldly tonight, Carlotta. I would like to ask you on behalf of the Young family to please be a liaison for us. Because you know more about the law than I do. And I'm asking you if, it's an honor if you can please be a liaison for us as family. So if it's not Mr. Todd speaking, you would speak. I probably might come now and then, but not like before, because I really, really do not appreciate what has been going on in the media. If persons they're fighting, it should not be about Adriana's name or her mother name or her father name. Yes, I will talk to Sabrina. I will talk to Amicia. We always talk. I will continue to talk to them. I have done everything I can for Ailey. I have been there. I have been standing out for her. I want her to know I forgive her. Yes, I love her with the love of Jesus. I'm not going to hate her. I cannot hate her. However, the choices that we make in life determines our future for tomorrow. Ailey has made her choice. And I don't want anything to do with that choice that Ailey has made anymore. As of this night, I will no longer call her name. I will no longer speak out about anything pertaining to her, regardless of what she does. I leave it to God. because it's a form of distraction. I do not serve a God of confusion. Thank you.
Wow. One, I just must say thank you for sharing, Angie. It's definitely not easy to share these things, to be so articulate and to cover things and just to be clear the air. I can say from myself to you and the young family and everyone in its entirety, my answer is yes, because I know God placed me here to allow me to have a dream about this case before it even came into fruition, September of 2023. And therefore, when I was contacted to look over this case, I was able to put it together. And now as things are unfolding, I know that it's a reason why all of this is happening and I'm connected. So I really am honored to. I still have a law enforcement eye, previous homicide detective eye to this case. So that's another conversation I don't mind rolling out when it's time. But I do want to say what's very important is to know that No More Flinching TV, Tell Your Story podcast is not a gossip column. I want to make that very clear. We are all about overcoming adversity. We do not believe in cyberbullying. I don't want to get caught up in the what's over here and the clatter and chatter over there. Things that have nothing to do with purpose and pushing forward, especially when it comes to the Adriana Young's case. We want to keep the main thing the main thing. I do want to say this. I have seen a little bit because I'm not tapping into every live. I have so much to do. My schedule is slam packed. I mean, I literally have not eaten today. No, literally have not sat down to have a lunch or a dinner today. So that's how busy I am sometimes. But one thing I do want to say is that I've heard some things and I've seen some things. Listen, nobody can tell anybody how to grieve. Everybody grieves in their own way, and as treacherous as this baby, life was snuffed from her. We don't know how we would respond or how we would act. And since you're sharing, Angie, I'm gonna share this because I was gonna share it. I might share it again later, but I do want to say this as we get ready to close. And don't worry, Angie, before you leave, we still got to get you to answer that question about No More Flinching. Just hold on again, even though it's your second time. But yeah, I'm coming to you for that question. However, about 2 nights ago, not yesterday, I believe the day before. Now, I don't know what this means, but just like I shared the first dream, I'm going to share this one. I woke up early and I went back to sleep. I have a tendency to do that if I wake up too early. And I went back to sleep and took a little small nap. But I had a mini dream. And in that dream, it felt so real. And I don't know what God was trying to show me, but I'm going to share it right now. In that dream, I was in a room. And there were a lot of Guyanese people in that room. Pretty much all Guyanese people. And it felt like I was there in the moment in Guyana. And it was being announced, or it had just been announced that they had got all the way down into the case and it had just been announced like who the person who actually jumped this whole thing off, like who was really responsible for the demise of Adriana Young. And everybody was in shock. It was hurtful. It was like, it wasn't what everybody expected. That's what it was. That's how it felt. And in that dream, I shouted, why are they still alive? Like I shouted that. And then people in the room were like, man, we feel you. We feel you. We thinking the same thing. Don't worry. I started apologizing. And there were people standing and some people sitting. And it was just so shocking. Like the earth was like cracking or something. It was just that detrimental. And then I woke up. Now I don't really know what that means, but I kind of have a sense of it. But I said I was going to share it. So I wanted to go ahead and share that. Things are still rolling out with the case. And I know there's going to be things that we don't know. I know there's going to be witnesses that are going to come forward. But at the end of the day, no matter how gloomy it may look, God is going to come through in this case. There, no matter how long it takes,
Amen.
justice will be served. Like, I don't care what person speaks against it, no matter what the evil is out there trying to do with this case, it does not matter. God will have the final say so.
Amen.
And I know that for a fact. Angie, you want to pass the mic back to you. You can wrap us up with, whatever's on your heart, with sharing what you were sharing with us about the case, anything else you want to share. And then I'll ask you the final question before we pack it up for tonight, but we definitely will be back.
Okay, first of all, I just would like to say thank you to everyone who is standing in solidarity with us. Thank you to Delta 9 Media. Thank you to Let's Talk the Ting TV. Thank you to No More Flinching talk show. Thank you to Mark Benchop. Thank you to there are some other persons who are who are speaking out on truth that has platform that does not carry this confusion and corruption that was going on and going around the place. I want to say thank you to everyone who had contributed financially to this family, who contributed with their prayers. I just would like to thank you. Please continue to pray for us, for those persons who know about prayer and fasting, because there are some stuff that has to be broken only by prayer and fasting. If they can please, if you want to skip a meal, if you want to skip a dinner, a lunch, whatever, please remember Adriana Young and Justice for Her. Please pray for Dr. Todd. Please pray for the parents for me, especially Sabrian. Please pray for Sabrian for me. Amicia, those children, the sister, Amika, and other family members. If you all can please remember us in prayer. And I want to apologize to the listeners who were listening with all the back and forth confusion. I would like to apologize to everyone. I do not know why that train went off that rail, but I want to say it's back on and it's going to continue to be back on. Ms. Victorious, I would like you to please help us whenever you're in church, pray for us, please. Or whenever you're at home, please pray for us.
Yes, ma'am.
I know there is the investigation going on. I cannot share anything about that. I do not want anything to do pertaining to any finances, receiving of any finances. But whenever I got to the mom and dad and we try to figure out something, I would like to ask if persons can please help contribute and donate it towards the investigation part. However, for Miss Ailey Comet, I would ensure she got her money back so that she can give it back to our community.
Well, there we have it. And on that note, share with us, Angie, for the second time. I know you can dig in a different direction. What does no more flinching mean to you, and how does it show up in moments in your life?
Well, first of all, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, but of love and of a sound mind. And God did not create me to worry. He did not create me to stress. He did not create me to be broken. And because of all of that, I am not going to flinch. Doesn't matter what may come my way, I am not going to flinch. Because I had wanted to jump off the rail today and get even, because I could get even. But when I think of all the goodness that God has done for me, where He has brought me from, what He has created me to be, by my name being shared in the public, I am not going to flinch. I'm not going to flinch. And I can boldly say, after listening to the panel tonight, I can boldly say, my correct name is Camille.
Woo!
But I preferred being called Angie. So after airing what I heard on the panel, it had a little more to what God has already created inside of me. So it doesn't matter what may come my way, I am not gonna flinch. So I want to thank God for No More Flinching television talk show that is causing me to become more and more bold in what I say. I've already been a bold person, but more and more bold, not to give up, not to be coward, not to be ashamed. And I would like everyone to know that our next part 2 coming, I will be showing my face.
All right.
Wow. Listen, first of all, Angie, I'm getting chills from the entire broadcast. But as we get to this portion, wow, this is so big. You have been a speaker for others. You've been an advocate, strong. You've been that voice. You've been behind the camera and you still allowed your voice to be heard and you spoke up with fire every single time. But you're getting closer and closer and closer. And this is nothing but God's design. And somebody else, listen, I know somebody else is watching Angie right now, and you're seeing like she has a reason. I can't wait, Angie, when you come from behind that camera the next time on our part 2, you share the reason why, and even more depth of why you were behind the camera. You're gonna break so many chains, Angie. I know we cannot wait.
Amen.
Because think about all the other people who are behind the camera, itching, desiring, waiting to tell their story, to tell their truth, to walk in the light and walk in their purpose that God has designed them. But in their mind, they're feeling that they're still trapped in fear. And you coming forward, casting the fear aside, no longer flinching. Listen, y'all not subscribing yet? You need to be sharing the link. You know we're coming back, and it's going to be even better. Angie, I'm so grateful for it. This second half, I'm glad we stayed.
Likewise.
Everybody stayed with us. The numbers didn't even drop, literally. Like everybody pretty much stayed with us. We are super excited to come back with you. They are still saying they can't wait for a part 2. Let me put this comment up there. Stacy, can't wait for part 2. God got you, Angie. Absolutely. And on this platform, let me tell you, everybody was specifically chosen for such a time as this. We have a platform of women who I know without flinching will hold each other's hand. I don't have to question it. I don't have to question it. Let me bring my sister back up here, girl, because you over here. I'm going to bring you back up in the camera. I don't have to question. God already told me, these women, you will not have to turn them. I ain't got to look over my shoulder. That's what time we in. That's what time God has for us right now. I don't have to look over my shoulder and wonder, are they going to do the right thing? I don't have to wonder. God already showed me who you was, Victorious, and we have never met in person. I don't have to wonder. That's what God did with this broadcast today.
Yeah.
Even the people who've already had to leave and they had other things to do, they are included with that. I think we're gonna go deeper next time. I think we're gonna really leave room for God to do his thing and show up, because this is just a sprinkle right here. This is just like a little sprinkle. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Be sure you subscribe to No More Flinching TV. Once again, what I say in the beginning, Facebook is great. It's cute. You know, it'd be a lot of eyes in them stories, but it don't be no likes and comments, right? Same thing. Facebook is for folding chairs. You're going to sit there. Yes, it's great. But the theater chairs are on YouTube, because after 30 days, Facebook is removing the live. So we need you all to go to No More Flinching TV, subscribe, share, like, show love. We thank you. Let's get these comments in because they're sharing the love is coming in strong in the comments, right? I'm just going to pop them in real quick as we continue to close out. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. The number's actually going up. So we already know what time it is next time. We're going to give ourselves a little time to go a little deeper and allow God to do his thing with the stories. Angie, I am so honored for you coming on this platform. I'm so honored to be the liaison for the young family. And saying that, let me just be very clear. I have, God designed me this way. It's in my DNA. I have a law enforcement scope on the case. I want to be very clear about that, right? This is not about being buddy. This is about being anointed and placed in position. Yep. All right. God is doing his thing. And I'm grateful to be connected to you, Angie, Camille, who's going to come back and reveal who she really is.
Hearing you.
Say that again.
I'm hardly hearing you, Carlotta.
Can you hear me now?
I am not hearing you. The phone, it's breaking up.
Okay. Jessica, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Victoria.
No, you're going in and out. Yeah. You're going in and out.
Okay. Y'all let me know if you can hear me in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me because I don't know if it might be Angie's phone or if it's where she's at. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put it in the comments, please. And we will know. If you can hear me, no more flinching. Don't flinch to put it in the comments and let me know if you can hear me or not. We got some comments coming in. I can hear you clear. Awesome, Colette. Okay. All right. Man. Woo. Like, I am really, really grateful. Yes, Gloria says, I can hear you. Thank you, ladies, for an awesome night of revelation. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. So it's probably just a signal going on, Angie, but they're saying they can hear me. So that's great. Thank you so much for everything. This is not an easy peasy, right? And I'm just grateful for this space. I'm grateful for what God is doing. And I look forward to part 2. Somebody said part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. A few people said that. I meant to say something about that. I'm seeing a lot of different Carlottas come on the Carlotta. Oh, that's different with the okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Zena. She says, I'm heading over to YouTube. See you there on the next live. I can hear you. Thank you. That's what we need you at. We need you on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and share with others and show love over there. And somebody said, Ingrid said, thank you all for having this broadcast. The discourse was heavy and deep. You make me relate in so many ways. Let God continue to lead you all. All right. And with that,
Amen.
being said, we are getting ready to drop everyone down in the comments. Ladies, if you got about 3 minutes, give me 1 second. I'm going to be speaking to you in the green room in just one moment. Okay. I'm about to get ready to close out. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much, Victoria's, Angie, sis. Wow. I'm super excited. Hold on. Just give me like 2 minutes, Angie. I'm going to come down there and speak with you all in the green room in just a moment. All right. To everyone watching, if this episode touched you, talk about it, tag a friend, replay it, reflect on it. We're just getting started. Meet me right back here next week, same time, same fire. Because around here, we don't flinch. We tell the truth and we keep it moving. This is No More Flinching Talk. Tell your story. Until next time, take care of your soul and take your story off mute.